we are seeing, better autonomous flow in the market. In the last 2 quarters of 2017, we had foreign portfolio investment rising to the highest level since 2014. So with the positive outlook both for the current accounts and for the capital accounts, that should continue to bolster the external reserves and continue to give the CBN the case to continue easing monetary policy. Although we haven't seen a change in the benchmark interest rates, the CBN's policy action through the use of its major policy tool in the last 1 or 2 years, that's the OMO policy tool, OMO open market auction, both in terms of the frequency of the auction and the marginal rates or the clearing rate at those auctions, they've already indicated that they're on a policy easing path, and that should continue in the near term. The other factor to consider is fiscal policy. Clearly, if you look at the NTB calendar for Q2 and even the DMO borrowing plan for Q2 for the bond, they're already signifying they want to borrow less than the amounts that will be maturing. So with the increase in liquidity in the market, that should place, a lot, so that should increase the level of demand in the secondary market.
70 billion naira on Wednesday.
Correct.
That's what the DMO is putting on the table. You think this is a done deal?
It's a done deal because the demand will be very, very high, particularly for the longer duration bonds, because of the expectation of increase in policy easing, and also with the increase in the level of maturities relative to the amount that will be auctioned. So there'll be lots of demand in the secondary markets as well, because for most traders, this will be the time for them to lock in yields, before we start seeing all those maturities coming in.
Take a look at this three. We have inflation now below 14. So looking at those and see how they interwove, and you can see where my yield curve is also heading around that direction.
Correct.
And NPR at 14. So there's a little bit of a convergence here for this.
True, they're converging.
Yes, so these three are converging. And I'm looking at, if I'm playing these three together in the second half of the year, what do I do?
What you should do is probably increase your fixed income. You should increase your allocation to fixed income markets because of the impending, or rather should I say continuous decline in fixed income yields that we're anticipating. Particularly if you have a higher risk appetite, we would even recommend placing a higher allocation towards longer duration bonds, because in a period of declining interest rate environment, they seem to outperform the markets, talking about the fixed income market. So clearly, the playbook would be to lock in your maturities right now in the markets before we start seeing further decline in fixed income yields.
Do you think the ground is being prepared for MPC when they eventually meet to do some form of haircut for the NPR?
Not necessarily. Like you mentioned earlier, it seems as if they're giving a guidance of probably an April meeting for the inaugural meeting for the year. But being the first MPC meeting of the year, I'm also taking into consideration the fact that most of the members at that meeting will be new committee members who probably need some time to understand the CBN processes, to also form their own opinion of monetary policy. I don't think they would like to shake the table yet. Rather probably just hold on to the status quo and look at how and use the opportunity to also form their own opinion of the markets before making any drastic. If I'm going into a meeting for the first time, right, we don't expect them to vote for a policy rate cut. No, I probably want to say, okay, let me hold on for now and probably look at the development in the economy to make when I would have had better understanding of the CBN process and monetary policy before making a decision to cut policy.
So the April 3 and 4, if it holds as scheduled or rescheduled, will be a do-nothing?
It will be a do-nothing meeting because of the first factor I mentioned, and also because of the fact that the CBN, they've continued to communicate that their major anchor for monetary policy is inflation rates. Although we believe that judging by empirical data and even observation, their main policy anchor is actually FX rates. But give them the benefit of doubt. If they say the major policy anchor is inflation rates, and inflation is at 14.3% now, still about 30 basis points higher than the current benchmark interest rates, then we shouldn't expect them to cut interest rates yet. But if you continue to see a deceleration in the inflation rate, or what we call a disinflation trend, then we should probably see a 100 to 200 basis points cost in benchmark before the end of the year.
I'm looking at the tightrope that Godwin Emefiele and his team and his new team will face between June therefore. So if we're done with April doing nothing, we're left with June, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So we're going to have a meeting in June, technically speaking. So that leaves us just about 3 months before the political folks get into the party. Then some forecasters that will have to cut rate and also move it up to, moderate the electionary spending. So if we raise rating, or if we cut rate in June, do you think we will be able to reduce it if we cut rate in June, do you think we'll be able to hike it in September, or we'll wait till maybe November, December meeting?
I don't think we have to, because if we are cutting interest rates for now, if we are cutting the benchmark interest rates, it would be to align the benchmark interest rates with current market realities. Because if you look at the 9 months treasury bills rates, which is typically highly correlated to the benchmark interest rates, whereas 11.2% for the 9 months treasury bills, which is highly correlated to the benchmark interest rates, and the benchmark is still at 14%. So if we are cutting the benchmark interest rates, it should be to align with what's already happening in the market. So it wouldn't be premature at all. But like you mentioned, there are some key downside risks to the outlook for monetary policy, and one of them is the election season, because it typically comes with a lot of capital repatriation by foreign portfolio investors and
domestic spending.
And that's going to put pressure on FX rates in the foreign exchange market. But with the current level of external reserves at over $46 billion, that shouldn't be any trouble for the CBN, because last year the CBN spent about $20 to $23 billion intervening in different windows of the FX market. If you take that away from the external reserves you have now, they will still be pretty much above where they were 2 years ago, assuming no single accrual.
Whoever has money is the one doing the market. If you have the deep pockets, go ahead and do it. Thank you very much. And we appreciate coming here. First day of the week to tee off the traded week for us. Motola Bimbola, investment analyst from AfroInvest. Let's come back to you after the break. You're watching Business Morning.